my two things would have to be being fun and being a perfectionist. I mean, when I started out in the business, being fun was being charming, was trying to get the people I was interviewing with to like me. I didn't at that time have a lot to talk about as far as experience and all was concerned. But if I could manage to make them feel like I was a person they would like to have around, then I had a choice. I mean, I had a chance of getting the job. Um, in the latter parts of my career, that fun translated into being able to make a 14 or 16 or 20-hour day something we could get through, something that the guys would go for because they know that I would always be there for them when somebody was ready to have some humor. We didn't want to take ourselves too seriously because it was hard work anyway. So we just tried to enjoy it even while we were working. And then the perfectionist aspect is, I mean, the part of the job that I loved was the problem solving. It's actually three things. So I love the problem solving, but then I'm the kind of person that unless something is perfection, it's not correct. And in making a movie, that's really important because the lines are very close together. So I think that's what got me through. Being willing to stay in there until I had solved all the problems well, and being able to make my crew happy to do it, even at the hardest times. You know, I mean, I've been in the middle of a forest in knee-high grasses in Lithuania in pouring rain, and nobody knew what we were going to do. I mean, there was nothing we could do but stand there and get drenched. But I had to make them think that we had a plan and that we would get out of it and we'd get our work done. And in fact, we did. Now, luckily, you always have the office back there working their asses off trying to figure out a plan for you, too. I mean, it's not just one person on the set as far as production is concerned. But the crew is really ready to give up if they don't see somebody that can lead them down the line. And I found I could do that pretty well. But our teachers told us about a program that the Directors Guild had. They started in the 70s, and they still have it to this day, called the Assistant Directors Training Program. And you have to get your application in September, and then they call you in January. It takes a year process to get in. They usually interview about 2,000 people, and they let in 20. They train you for 2 years, approximately, so that you can get 400 days of actual work. They put you on the program, they pay you. For each 100 days, your salary goes up. I believe you start out at like $700 a week, and at the end of the 400 days, you're making $900 a week. When I did it, it started at like 2 or 3, and we ended at 4 at the end of 400 days. But now it's 900, and as soon as you finish the 400 days, you are automatically grandfathered into the Directors Guild, and you can start getting work through word of mouth and all of the contacts you've made in the 2 years you've been a trainee. That's what they call them. And then you start making what they call the big bucks, which I think is really ridiculous money. They start out the second ADs at like $4,000 a week, something like that, which is crazy, but that's the film business for you. So it was crazy even back then, but it's even crazier now. And I got in, and at that time, I was the only woman on the set who wasn't in either wardrobe, script, or makeup. But I'm glad to say that in the last 30 years, things have changed tremendously. Not as much as we women would like, but we are getting more work. There's still not as many female first ADs as everyone would like, but it's a position they are hesitant to give to just anybody because the first AD is ultimately responsible for that $100 million they're putting forth for that movie, or the $5 million, or $1 million, whatever it costs. The producers put it out there, and there is one person that they go to in the end who has to answer for everything that happens, and that's what the first AD does. So it's a stressful position, but no more so than any other position on a film crew. Everybody is under a lot of stress to get their job done for their boss. And I had my boss, who was the director and the producers. And you just have to buckle under for those years that you're under a lot of stress until you can get to the end of it and kind of rest on your laurels, as I would say.